What's up, man? We no.
Well, Jesus,
we're,
don't scare me like that.
we're on for the week, man. We have some good shit to talk about, actually. Fucking
We got-
Champions League was out of control.
Yeah, we've got Champions League, we've got the Premier League, and got some good gossip too.
Yeah, look, 100%. We do our jobs well over here at the professional couch. Maybe
Well, I mean, first word in our title.
real professional with what we do. Why don't we jump in this week's gossip?
Let's do it.
We a little bit of antics have happened this week. Mike. We've got Jack Grealish back in our gossip for the week.
Scores one goal and now he's a fucking menace.
He likes to celebrate, dude.
He does like to celebrate, yeah.
So he went and racked up a £5,000 bar bill while partying at a swanky club in London the day after Manchester City thumped Crystal Palace.
That was on Saturday. So he went out Saturday afternoon and then played Saturday afternoon. I mean, played. He was there.
Yeah.
And
Sunday
then he
night he was out, baby, hitting the town. He even had a bodyguard protecting his table in the restaurant. He looked like he was enjoying himself and totally in his element. He had helped. He had help moving around, knocking back drinks with his friends. They added Grealish was behaving impeccably throughout the night. Another reveler said his Wolf of Wall Street antics had everyone in hysterics and indicated that the goose bill would have totaled at least 5 figures.
His Wolf of Wall Street antics.
Yeah,
What was he doing? Throwing midgets or
imagine?
Yeah.
He's like, get the dartboard out.
20 grand to the first cocksucker that can hit the bullseye.
But he was behaving impeccably. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a bit of an oxymoron. How do you behave impeccably but you act like the Wolf of Wall Street?
Because
That doesn't.
He was polite. He said, "Please pass me the midget so I can throw it at the dartboard."
Please
And
hand
then
me,
he said,
please hand me
"Thank you to the midget after being thrown."
Please hand me the bag of cocaine and pills.
Yeah.
I will not die sober.
Oh, he's gonna die somehow because his career definitely is. That's his problem, right? He keeps celebrating these little wins that he has.
Bro.
But dude, he plays for such a big club. There's got to be more to it. I don't know. Go and train.
Well, I think he needs to, one, leave City. Definitely needs to leave City. That's the first
His time's
thing.
done.
His time's done there. One, they don't want him there. Two, he's too comfortable. It's like the Rashford effect. I think if he leaves, he'll
flourish at another club.
he'll
100%.
perform at another club.
In like a bigger role where he needs to kind of at least be in charge. Like when we saw him at Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Right? He was the man there, dude. He used to rip up.
Yeah.
So I think he could find that again. Has to make sure he goes to the right club.
Correct, yeah.
But here's a good one for the week. So Tottenham, right? They're having their problems.
Yeah,
It's not great.
It's not just injuries, huh?
Yeah, fuck. I feel sorry for Ange, right?
Bad.
He's been struggling all year, obviously, with results. The
And-
team's probably not clicking how he wanted to. And then on top of that, he's got a million injuries.
And on top of that, now there's a lot of people calling for his head because they ain't been getting the results. And the only thing that's saving him is the Europa League.
Well, the hope of the Europa League.
And they've got a massive game tomorrow. Now, the game will be played by the time that we post this up, but before the game, huge pressure on him.
Yeah, well, this kind of leads into what we can talk about next week, essentially. You know, does he save his job with the Europa League? 'Cause I think if he loses, on. However, there's obviously been a lot of leaks going out from the club into the media, right? Injuries, especially specific the reasons for. Right, players coming back to training, and then everyone thinks they're going to play that weekend. And it's leaked out that they're not playing. So Postecoglou admitted that his suspicions for someone within Tottenham is leaking internal developments to the media.
Crazy.
Right, so he firmly believes this. So with the Australian coming to the conclusion after rumours of an injury to Wilson Odobert, so that surfaced online, which is obviously strange. One, he's not a big name player, so like, why are people tracking if he's injured or not? So Postecoglou's made it clear that the Tottenham mole, so there's a mole within the club, and it's not a player. So
that's one good thing. That's one good thing.
Well, his suspicion is that it's one of the staff members.
Yep.
Because apparently, some of the key terms and languages that were used in internal meetings have been leaked verbatim into the press. So somebody
Yeah,
is
right.
obviously taking the reports and then leaking out those exact words to the media. That's kind of fucked up, man.
That is really fucked up. Yeah, that's massively fucked up. Like,
You want to trust your team, right?
you want to trust your squad. You want to trust your workers. You want to trust your trainers. You want to trust them all. Like,
Otherwise, what are you not share information with
and
them?
this is big shit. Like, this is the difference between
Well, 'cause if
keeping your job and getting sacked.
I think even more than that, it's a big thing of how the other team's going to prepare for your team to play.
Yep.
And if you give them further information ahead of time, they can start preparing for it. And they go, oh, great, we can play this guy now. He can play further up the pitch. We can change the formation. We can do this. Now, obviously, I think specifically Odebert, maybe not.
Yeah.
But there's other
it could
big
be a
name
son.
players. Son, Solanke,
Yep.
could be Richarlison, anyone that can impact the game. And if you're going to leak that information, you're definitely going to lose some games based on that.
Yep.
So I feel hard done by for the guy. We're obviously biased being Aussies. We want to see him do well. But fuck, same time, man, your team should be, your boys. They should ride with you.
Well, you got to expect some level of professionalism where where you have people in your team not leaking shit out to the media. Like that's super unprofessional to do that. Two, it just ruins what you try to work on in the club.
Well,
like,
also,
you can see what Ange wants to keep it
What
tight.
other information are they leaking? Are they leaking any pertinent information to outside of the media around how they're gonna set up?
Who they're going to go for?
What's their formation? Who are they targeting on the pitch?
What's their future looking like? Because you don't know. They could be going, look, we're going to target this young kid from Benfica, right? We're going to go for him. Nobody knows about him. And then all of a sudden that gets leaked out and all these clubs go, oh, apparently this kid's mad. Let's outbid Tottenham.
Information gets to Jose Mourinho about them coming to look at a player. So despite them, he benches that player for the game.
Yeah, exactly.
So the scouts can't see him. Just shit like that can happen. And it has happened. So it just, I feel hard done for the guy because he's had probably one of the worst seasons a manager could have. Yeah. But, we'll end up seeing what happens with his job next week.
Next week will be the not make or break, but it'll determine whether he continues on for another, where it's like a stay of execution or whether he's gone.
I mean, I think they should stick with him, but
I agree.
It is hard given the season he's had.
Yeah, I agree.
It's one of the worst seasons Tottenham's had in 20 years or something.
It's funny you bring that up because I saw an article today where people were saying like, oh, they should have. Sorry, it was an opinion piece where people were like, oh, they should have bought in Poch. Bro, doesn't matter who you put in that team. Doesn't matter who's managing that team. Every single manager is copying it with the amount of injuries that he did.
Oh, dude.
You can put Pep Guardiola in that team and you're still going to cop it.
You can put any manager in that team who's 6 of your first 11. You don't have a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't. If you're playing an 18-year-old at centre back for like 20 games,
you're playing a
games.
35-year-old Ben Davies at centre back when you play such a dynamic style of football
next to an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Like it's just you got an 18-year-old and a 35-year-old, both on the wrong ends of the spectrum for a player.
Especially the way that Ange likes to play. Like it's very dynamic, and he relies a lot on their defenders to be able to handle one-on-ones.
100%.
Like the other guys can't do it. So. Yeah, poor Ange.
Oh, well, look, we'll see what happens next week. But, our hearts are with you, Ange. We love you, baby.
You're my boy, Blue.
Yeah. Next piece. Now, obviously, Newcastle had a double-header this week.
Yep.
But Eddie Howe, he's missed both games because he was rushed to hospital. The bloke, they didn't know what was wrong with him initially. Found out that he had pneumonia. So Eddie Howe, he remained in hospital all weekend. He is on the road to recovery. Apparently, he was diagnosed with pneumonia. They've treated him, but the 47-year-old was admitted late on Friday night as he underwent a series of tests over the weekend. Anxious club officials offered no updates regarding his condition until the Monday.
Yep.
So Monday afternoon, they released a statement announcing his diagnosis, including a message from Howe, the medical staff, and their care for the wishing the best for his team and the wider football community. So, I mean, look, he's going to be all right, which is the main thing. But, I mean, once we get into the results of the games, I think...
I don't think it really matters.
No. Should he stay in hospital? I think that'll be the fucking question, dude.
Well, it's good that he is on the road to recovery.
But I just thought it was a shock, right? Like, he's gone into... Normally, it's like for stress or something. It's pneumonia. I think it's weather in Newcastle.
Yeah, it wouldn't be nice.
No.
I mean, it'd be getting better now because we're in April, but still, I'm sure it'd be pretty nippy.
I mean, he should be used to it though, right?
Expect it,
I think he's just been a bit. Act like a bitch, eh, son? Here's an interesting piece that kind of came out of this week, which was obviously this has occurred before the Champions League clash between Real Madrid and Arsenal. But
the second leg, you mean?
The second leg,
Yep.
yeah. So Jude Bellingham, who was rested in Los Blancos La Liga clash against Alaves,
Deportivo Alaves.
yeah, last Sunday, was caught by a heavy challenge by teammate Antonio Rudiger at training, right?
I have heard that Rudiger
He goes hard.
He goes into it. I think he did the same thing to Mbappe when he first got there.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was Mbappe or Vinny Jr. Probably both.
Done it to both.
Yeah.
You guys are a fucking animal. But yeah, so apparently Jude Bellingham took offense to the kind of tackle, was not happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
They apparently got into his face. They got into a push and a shove, had to be separated by all of the teammates. Now, is this a sign of something to come with the Arsenal and Real Madrid game? That's all I've been asking. Obviously, we'll jump into the result.
Yep.
But I think it's a very showing kind of gossip piece in the lead up to that game, right? And where the team is from Real Madrid, because you got to think about it, right? They first leg. I mean, not giving anything away. They got pumped 3-0.
Yeah.
Right, and now it's showing that they're obviously having disagreements with each other at training.
Yep.
There's probably a bigger problem with the team rather than just their playing style. I think there's no cohesion.
It seems like there's a frustration brewing up between the teams. So I'm sure they expect it to be, one, in the semi-finals of the Champions League, and two, to be closer, if not winning the league at the moment. And at the moment, I won't give away what happens in the game because we'll get into it, but I'm pretty sure you can work it out. But in the league, they're 4 points behind Barcelona. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but Barca's killing it at the moment. And Real Madrid have been...
It's a lot when you've got two teams that rarely drop points.
Exactly. And Barcelona are picking up steam, whereas Real Madrid are just kind of getting results.
Well, they've been like a roller coaster this, right? They've hot and cold, all right? They've had some injuries. But they've got so much quality in their team. Oh, my God.
Oh, fuck. Get the shit out of me.
Yeah. See, we live dangerously over here. We have booby traps everywhere.
We're falling apart.
Yeah.
James trying to give me a goddamn heart attack.
I was trying to give you a brain injury, man. I wanted to fall in your head.
I missed it.
Yeah. Damn it.
That much.
But, I mean, look, it's a telling sign, I think, for Real Madrid. Right? They're on a roller coaster season in which they go on a run of games where they're winning, Mbappe's getting hat tricks and killing it, and then all of a sudden they just do nothing.
Well, yeah, there was a moment where it was like Mbappe, Bellingham, and Vinny Jr. are all scoring, helping out with the results. Everybody's happy, and then all of a sudden they stop scoring, and then all of a sudden there's like tension and shit's going wrong, and you could see it on the pitch. So I think this leads to big changes.
No, I tend to agree because something's got to change with them, and it can't be just the fact of players changing. Yeah, we'll get into kind of my feelings around what's going to happen with a few changes after we go through the Champions League. But, I mean, it's not a good sign for them, put it that way.
Look, they're going to have to really change around the results if they're going to, win at least the title, because they are playing, win a trophy, because they are playing Barca in the Copa del Rey final.
Mm-hmm.
So if they want to compete and win that, they really got to start turning it around. But two, they want to try to get back and win the league. They need to, rely on Barca to drop a couple points, but they need to pick their game up because they play Barcelona in round 34 or 35.
Yeah.
At Camp Nou, bro, the way they're playing at the moment, they're not winning shit.
No, I don't see it happening.
No.
So, I don't know. I mean, we'll keep following it, but
it
doesn't seem good.
Yep.
Now, look, two more gossip points before we move on to some actual football.
Yep.
And this is our classic gossip pieces. So, ex-footballer Jesse Lingard.
The Chinese sensation.
He's loving it, bro, doing his little fucking dances, bro.
He's got the whole crowd doing it. Yeah. He's loving life in Shenzhen or
whatever the fuck he
where
is.
he's playing.
It's not worth looking at. I mean, he scores goals against essentially semi-professional players. So anyway, he's now been accused of hiding a dark secret about his family.
Oh, I thought you were going to say about him.
No. If it was about him, that would have been
number one.
Pretty fucking crazy. Because apparently his grandfather is a full-on fucking pedophile, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. So Kenneth Lingard, he's 86 years old. He's been accused of a campaign of historical sexual abuse when his victim started at just 5 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
So the woman, who cannot be named for legal reasons, claims that she was touched sexually by Kenneth Lingard on her breast, bum, vagina on multiple occasions over a period of 13 years. Claims the abuse. This is how shocking it is, but I can't say it.
Yeah.
The abuse left her feeling suicidal for years, and was finally compelled to come tell the police after seeing the Channel 4 documentary called The Jesse Lingard Story Untold in 2022.
Huh.
So
I wonder what that was about. Was that about his uncle?
I don't believe so. I believe it's about Jesse Lingard, and obviously must just feature his grandfather.
Yeah.
I can't say I've ever been interested enough in Jesse Lingard's life to watch a documentary on it.
I like the only thing I liked about the Jesse Lingard story was when he sucked at me. That was always my favorite. Oh, he's such a good player. He's the future. Blah blah blah. And then he ended up sucking balls.
I love it when people fail, especially.
Listen to the overview. So, raw, unprecedented access to the Premiership footballer Jesse Lingard, star of the 2018 World Cup. I don't remember that. Was he the star of the 2018 World Cup?
Did he even fucking score?
Did he even play? Was he there? He was too busy doing his.
Yeah.
Shut up, Jesse.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Yeah. You say shut up in Chinese.
He and his close family talk on camera for the first time about the personal lows that followed the professional highs of the tour. Okay, they made the semi-final. I don't know how many highs there were, but I guess that kind of brings up the family.
That was just Jesse Lingard getting high the entire time.
There's just Jesse Lingard on the bench, just like, Jesse, can you stop that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. I will not.
I am the mask now. Fucking loser. So
well, that's shocking.
Well, you know,
That's a horrible secret to have.
It's disgusting, but I do love the title of it. You're hiding a dark secret. Like, well, I mean, was he hiding it, or did he just choose not to tell you? I don't know.
I find it weird that he kind of brought it up. Like, they brought it up now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I mean, like the Jesse Lingard family. Such a dark secret. Yeah. Just wouldn't say anything, but
slow news day. Who haven't we ripped on in a while?
Wait, why are they talking about it now when it was about the 2018 World Cup?
Yeah,
this must have been like
no. Well, the documentary was 2022.
Oh, okay. Right? Oh, and so then the lady
chick
came
saw
out.
the documentary.
Yep.
Then came out going, "Hey, that guy fucking raped me, dude.
That old man there.
Hey, I know that guy.
Yeah, he touched me.
PTSD." So yeah, no, that's kind of fucked up, man. Very fucked up, actually.
Very fucked up. Yes.
Anyway, look, last kind of point before we move on, and this one I'm
looking forward to because
super fucked up.
Yeah, because this one I saw on Instagram and instantly knew that we needed to bring this up,
dude,
because it brings up two things that we love to talk about here. One, South Americans, and how nuts they are, and two, players being scumbags.
Dude, it's the ultimate scumbag. So Payet, who, I mean, as you recall, was a gun for fucking West Ham.
Look, he was a gun for West Ham. Then he went to Marseille, did well, not great, which I thought was a weird move because he was pretty much at the peak of his powers when he went to Marseille.
Yeah.
And he kind of dropped off.
Wanted to go back to France, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, had his family there.
Family, yeah.
He's now under investigation in Brazil because he's playing over.
He is playing in Brazil, yep.
After his alleged mistress, Larissa Ferrari. What a fucking name to be a mistress.
Sounds real.
Yeah.
That sounds like a real name.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It just sounds like an Instagram thought name.
She sounds like a porn star.
Yeah, exactly. So has now accused Payet of physical and psychological abuse during their 7-month affair.
Nice.
Now, they say affair because Payet is married with 4 fucking kids, dude.
And they were in France, if I recall.
Yes. So they stayed in France. He's gone over to Brazil and play. You know, now he's obviously lonely. So he goes and gets a mistress.
So he pretty much had a second family, if you want to put it that way.
Well, he's got another bitch.
That's
how we're gonna put it. He's got another bitch.
You're my main bitch, baby.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that's why he had to go ahead and force her to drink urine.
Oh, this
is what she alleges and claims that he did. He forced her to drink urine, lick the floor.
Lick the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And would assault her physically.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. What the fuck, dude?
Interesting.
Yeah, it makes... What?
Wow. Drink piss, lick the floor. Did the floor have piss on it?
I don't know. Was it his piss?
These are the details I need to know.
Yeah, so his piss, somebody else's piss, her piss? I don't know.
Yeah, okay. And assault her physically.
And what was he doing at the time while she was doing this? Also, why did she agree to do it?
Also, why does he go... Do you kiss someone after you... after they drink piss?
I don't know, dude.
Oh.
Yeah. Quick, drink my piss and kiss me.
Bubble into my mouth.
Yep. You ever wondered how I do those free kicks? It's piss, baby. It's sterile. I love it.
Really yellow.
Yeah, did he do anything with the piss?
I need to know all these details.
Yeah,
I need to know everything.
I don't know. Maybe we should DM him and ask. But apparently, anyway, obviously he's been reached out for comment and has not.
Yep.
Obviously, no one's going to go and comment on that.
I can confirm this happened.
Yeah. What's wrong with piss? Well, it's kind of gross, dude. That's what's wrong with piss.
Yeah.
Oh.
We call this the Brazilian champagne.
Yeah. I'm hard thinking about it. The Brazilian champagne. It's fucking disgusting.
Well, he's gross.
Yeah, super gross.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump into some fucking football before I throw up.
All right. So we had round 32 just play.
We did.
We
had
had
32. We did forget one tip, though.
We did forget one, but look, we spoke about it,
Yeah.
Perso, and we both pretty much at the same time said the right result.
Yeah.
So, no, we'll talk about it. But,
Yeah. So I was 6 out of 11 this week.
I got 6 as well, so I'm still 3 behind.
Yeah,
you.
3 behind.
Still 3 behind. So, and we got 6 rounds, 7 rounds, something like that.
It's definitely doable.
Yeah. So creeping up on you,
Yeah.
man.
You have always been a creeper.
Thank you. All right. So look, first we'll start with the City Palace game. So I had a draw in this, thinking it was going to be great result after the first fucking 20 minutes from Palace.
Hey, dude, crazy game. I got the City win.
Yep.
I went City on this one. City at home, Palace.
Yep.
I mean, playing that great.
Oh, they won a few games in a row.
They did, and now I think they've
But now the
slowed-
City game really blew them out of the water.
But I mean, they've got, I mean, look, you run through, but
Well, the first thing I want to bring up is that they actually had automated offside in this game.
they did. This is the
And-
first round that they've done.
And great.
Yeah.
So great, because the first time they used it was with Eze. He was a bee's dick offside,
Uh-huh.
but super quick and correct.
Yeah,
They had it, and you're just going, why has the Premier League not had this?
because the technology's
start.
been there.
Yeah, exactly. It
It's
has
so
been there.
difficult, dude.
Exactly right. So that was like out of this game, one, to see KDB back, and bro, I think KDB is either. I had a question about this game. Was it a Palace collapse because they went up 2-0, which
I
we'll get
think
into,
it was
or is this the KDB final tour?
I think it was City.
Switty.
Switching, yeah, Swifty, get Swifty. I thought it was City switching on because I think the start of the game, Palace go up 2-0.
Yeah,
Right.
so like Eze got his goal in the 8th minute, and then Richards got his goal in the 21st minute.
Yeah.
So the first 20 minutes, you're looking and going, bro, Palace are killing it.
Yeah. Well, dude, they were dominating. They weren't really copping too many chances against their goal.
No.
They were creating quite easily from the counter attack.
Yep.
And then something switched with City, and they just started dominating the game.
Well, after the goal from Richards, KDB hits the post in the 24th minute. I think that switched them. Like, they just gone, okay, KDB's here. He's going to fucking pick up his game, and he really did. He got his goal in the 33rd minute with a free kick. Beautiful free kick. Henderson had... I don't know if Henderson was out of position. What do you reckon?
I mean, it was a pretty crazy free kick.
It was a nice free kick.
I mean, it's hard to say, right? Like, all right, if he was a step closer, if he took a step closer to where the ball landed, yes, might he have saved it? Maybe, but I mean,
But you got to expect KDB can go over the wall. He can
exactly. It's
smash
not
it
like
in. Yeah.
it's not like you're versing Ipswich and you're just like. I mean, what was the game? Was it against Man U and Everton earlier in the season when we were saying Pickford was out of position?
Yes. Yep.
In that instance, yes, Pickford was out of position because he got beaten on the near side, and it wasn't really
And it was really
anything,
close. It was really close to the 18-yard box.
Wasn't really anything that was kind of here. He could have went in any direction.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put much blame on the keeper.
Okay. And then Marmoush got his goal in the 36th minute. So halftime it's 2-2, and I'm thinking, fuck yeah, my bet, my tip is looking good. And then City just decided to just go full hand,
as
bro.
soon as I saw them get the 2 goals back, I'm like, City's going to win.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, just you could see Palace didn't really have the options. They couldn't really dig themselves out of the hole.
They were just copping it, eh? So 2-2 at halftime, and then straight away after halftime, Kovacic gets a goal. KDB got the assist.
Yeah.
So KDB comes in, goal, assist, hits the post as well. He's still so classy.
Well, he's still got quality in him, and I could see he's obviously going to go somewhere at the end of the season. He's not going to stay. Now, is it going to be Saudi? Maybe.
I heard MLS.
Another good option.
Yeah,
right. He'll kill it there.
yeah. Back to the game. McAtee got his goal. So you've been talking about McAtee.
I'll rate him, man. He's a good player.
And he got his goal. But do you know who got the assist for his goal?
Who?
Edison.
Oh, another one. That's his 7th?
I think it's 4 in the Premier League.
It's his 7th for City, I think.
Crazy. He's got 4 assists this year.
Yeah, it's...
And then O'Reilly got his goal in the 79th minute, deflected in. I just killed it was 4-2 at that stage.
O'Reilly's another youth player.
Another good player, yeah.
He's a great player.
Yeah, yeah. So game ended 5-2. Where we going next?
Southampton and Villa.
Look, I picked Villa in this.
Fucking everyone picked Villa in
this was
somebody tipped against Villa.
Yeah.
And I have questions.
Now, look, to be fair, it was 1-1 at halftime. 0-0 at halftime. So...
Yeah, but again, Villa's been playing so many games.
Bro, they're Champions League, FA Cups. Yeah, they're back-to-back games.
They've been playing so many games,
Yep.
right? They're just obviously tired.
Yep.
And it just took... It takes a week half for them to switch the mindset of what you have to do.
Yep.
And against a team like Southampton will try and defend.
Yeah. Now, there was a nice save by not Henderson, Ramsdale.
Oh, Ramsdale.
Yeah, he saved the penalty from Asensio.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
It was a shit pen, to be fair, but
I mean,
still
you don't
saved
generally
it.
save the good ones. That's the...
That's
yeah. So, but I mean, again, you got to feel for him.
Yeah, 3. He's got the hat trick of relegated teams.
Yeah, this is his third
in a
3
row,
seasons.
But 4 minutes later, Watkins gets his goal. Just from again, simple ball over the top. All it takes. Watkins got it and he put it away.
I don't know why these teams overcomplicate things, man.
And then 4 minutes later, Marlon scores again.
Danielle.
So he's now got 3 and 3 in the EPL.
I mean, I still don't think he's the greatest buy for them.
Not the greatest buy, but he's a good piece.
I mean, he scores goals.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You can't argue with that.
And then Asensio gets a second penalty, and he misses the second penalty.
Dude.
So if you had him in your fantasy team, you are burning.
Yeah, dude. Massively burning.
But,
Imagine 2 missed penalties in a match. What's that? Minus 10 points?
No, I think you'd go negative. I think it's -2. So he would have been like -2. And if you got a yellow card, that's another negative.
Would have got like 0.
Yeah, he would have been negatives.
Negatives.
Should have been the negatives,
We'll
yeah.
speak about the fucking negatives.
Yeah.
People got.
And then, but luckily McGinn followed up and he put it away. So 3-0 win for Villa.
Oh, it was a good win.
It was an expected win, yeah.
Well, then we had the Forest Everton game.
Okay,
this game was fucking weird, dude.
Okay, this game was one. It wasn't a very good game.
No, it was boring as
right?
shit.
But the result was unreal.
It was Everton through and through.
It was, yeah. So look, the first half there was a couple long shots. There wasn't any real chances made. The only point that I have besides the winning goal, which we'll talk about, was Nico Williams getting hit in the balls. He went to block the shot, which he did. He blocked it, but he blocked it with his nuts.
Yeah.
And so he blocks it, goes up for a corner. He's just on the ground dying. I'm like,
get him off the pitch.
Ouchtown population, you, bro. But the big moment in the game, 94th minute. I don't know what the hell the Forest defenders were doing, but
they weren't concentrating. That's what they weren't doing.
Because I think Milinkovic loses the ball, and then they go on a run. I think it was Harrison goes on a run, and he puts it through for Decore, and Decore scores in the 94th minute to win the game for Everton.
Yeah.
So
good for them, dude.
Hey,
you got to hang on to win.
Hey, once again, Everton have only been defeated once, which was to you guys since David Moyes has come in. And to be fair, they probably shouldn't have lost that game.
Everyone has their opinions, man. We shouldn't have lost the other game against them. Shut up.
That's true, yeah. Fair enough. So, Everton. Look, I did pick Forest in that one. I wasn't going to pick Everton, but good for Everton.
Yeah, I also went Forest in that one.
Yeah.
Didn't work out. Then we had Brighton, Leicester. The fuck?
Yeah, I know, bro. What the fuck was this? Nobody would have picked this.
No,
considering that...
Well, they hadn't scored in 7 games, Leicester?
They haven't scored in 700 and... Well, they haven't scored a home goal in 720 minutes.
So that's more like 8 games, isn't it?
Yeah. It's close to 8 games, yeah. So but they go away to Brighton, and look, you thought Brighton would have taken this, but nope. So Pedro scores in the 31st minute from a penalty, from a handball, which is fair enough. But then Marvadidi, who I think was playing well at the start of the season.
We did, yeah, he was.
But he, I think he got injured, and then he's come back, and look, he has broken the spell.
Someone had to break it, right?
And I think Marvadidi's probably their best player. So
yeah. I mean, he's a player who probably deserves to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think he will. I think he'll end up.
I don't think he'll end up at a big team either.
He's in a weird position where, like, realistically, you're not going to make him the role player of your team, right?
Yeah. Look, the only player that you look at him on a team like maybe Fulham or not going to a big team, but yeah, he nutted the keeper, so look, broke the spell, and then look, O'Reilly hit the post, so look, they were pushing, but obviously nothing came of it, and then where's Brentford? And then then Pedro gets a second penalty. Gets second pen, scores it, and
well, it's wild that you need 2 penalties to score 2 goals against Leicester.
I know.
Everyone scores against Leicester for fun.
Brighton have really dropped off since the international break. They lost in the FA Cup, and
I can't tell you even what happened.
Yeah, and then they haven't been winning their Premier League games.
They started well. Again, they've had a bit of a roller coster. They've had ups and downs. They go on like a 4-5 game winning streak, and it's not even like they're versing easier teams, so they win the easier games. They tend to struggle against the easier teams very well against the
bigger teams,
which is interesting. I don't know if it's their players just turning up for the day or it's
mindset.
God knows.
Yeah. But then Okoli gets a goal off a free kick. Nice free kick too. So ends at 2-2. Now look, and it could have gone Leicester's way. El Khanous hits the post in the 86th minute.
I mean, you want
I
Leicester
would have preferred Leicester win, to be fair.
Yeah, fucking just shit performance by goddamn Brighton, dude.
Yeah,
two penalties to get a point is pretty ridiculous.
I think they're in a position where they're kind of like mid-table, right? Where they can't be relegated, but they also can't make Europe. So they must just be like, fuck, whatever. You know what I mean? Like they've just gone, we can't progress to Europe. We can't get relegated. Let's just try to get the season over. That's what it feels like.
I mean, it must be hard at this time. If you're a mid-table team, can't get relegated, can't get anything out.
You're out of the FA Cup.
Bro, all you're doing is thinking of your holidays, man.
Pretty much, yeah. You're thinking about what you're doing in, because what are we now?
We're relax.
We're mid-April. I think the season ends mid-June or mid-May or end of May.
Yeah.
So you're like a month away, and you're like, fuck, I can't wait to get out of this.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You played fucking 60 games in the year or some bullshit, dude. Like, fuck. All I want to do is lay on a beach.
Where are we going next?
Then we got Arsenal and Brentford.
All right. Well, I had a draw in this.
I also had the draw in this one.
It was a good tip, yeah?
Great tip.
I think Arsenal have finally given up on the title. I think it's finally done. They can stop talking about it.
It makes sense, right? You're sitting there going, all right, Liverpool needs to win games.
Yep.
Are they realistically going to lose all the rest of their games?
Right,
no.
Let's think about it. They're playing Leicester this week. I mean, yeah.
Just no.
You could pretty much draw the rest of your games and you'll still win the title.
Yeah, exactly right.
But look, this is now 2 wins out of 7 for Arsenal.
Yeah.
So I know that they're doing, we'll talk about the Champions League in a little bit, but you could just see that had they won 2 or 3 of those games, they're in it, but they really dropped off at the back end of the year in terms of the title.
Look, they're going to blame injuries and blame whatever the hell they want. Then again, do we lose the games we lost if they were that close?
Yeah, that's right. Because you guys relax after you're like, it's 12 points ahead.
Right?
Yeah.
They draw a game and you think, oh great, we don't have that much pressure on us for 4.
Yep.
You know, we can have a bad game.
Which you have. You've had bad games.
A bad game.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, the game itself was pretty fucking boring between.
Yeah. Well, look, there's one stat I do have here. It's Brentford had 3 shots, 2 were on target, and 1 was a goal.
Yeah.
So they did fuck all game, but they still managed to draw a point.
But again, this is the point with Arsenal. They've got a strong defense.
Yeah.
They don't have a strong midfielder. Okay? All right, Saka's a great player. But again, if he goes out, then they can't score goals.
I think they've got a good midfield, especially with like Odegaard and Thomas Partey
been really
and
off.
Marino. Marino's
been playing striker.
That's true, yeah. But Odegaard is more of like, in terms of numbers, like if you look at like his goals, assists, yeah, fucking nowhere near. But he's the guy he's the cog that keeps it going.
Yeah, but that's fine. But that's not his role. It's the same thing with Dominic Soboslai. He does a lot of stuff on the field, agreed. Yeah. But his role is to get assists and goals.
Yep.
And that's what Slot is critical of him on. So it's the same for Odegaard. He leads the team. And especially if you haven't got a main striker there, you need that number 10 role to be banging in goals and getting assists. And he just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
He started doing it. He got injured,
He
came back, and he just didn't do it
That
anymore.
injury totally destroyed his momentum.
Yeah.
But look, in the first half, there's only 2 points here. Tierney had a goal offside, and then Trossard had a shot save. That was it. And it was funny with Tierney because everyone was celebrating like, oh, this is awesome for him because he's pretty much leaving at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And there was offside. Like, it's a shame.
Yeah.
Party got a goal in the 61st minute off a counter-attack. Bro,
Fucking
crazy
banged
counter-attack.
it, bro.
Bro, crazy counter-attack. Declan Rice, he has really picked up since the international, bro.
Yes.
He's got. So I remember, like, I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh, he's a waste of money because it was 100 million, right?"
Yeah.
And the thing, he's not 100 million, but these games you could see like why he's worth that much. And then in the 74th minute, Wissa got his goal. I think it was off a corner. So Wissa continues his strong form.
Yeah, it was a funny goal too. It just kind of like bounced around all through the box.
Yeah.
And Wissa just did a kind of half overhead kick scoop shot.
It was
and it just
something.
goes in. He's like, yeah. You know, I was spewing, put him on my fucking bench.
Talk about that later.
No, I was talking about it right fucking now.
But another point here is that Arsenal actually finished with 10. I don't know if you know this, but they actually finished with 10. They used up all their subs, and then
I saw this.
Jorginho got injured, so they had to finish with 10. That's horrible.
Oh, fuck you. It helped out our fucking tip.
Oh, fuck yeah, definitely. Where's next?
We got Chelsea and Ipswich,
Bro.
baby. Just walk us through this.
Yeah, look. This was not good. You're pushing for Europe, and you're drawing, not only drawing, but you were losing 2-0 to a team being relegated at home.
I think you guys got lucky to get a point in this game.
It was a game of two halves.
No, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, game of two halves. I think a draw was probably fair. I mean, the first half was terrible, absolutely terrible. And just to reiterate how terrible it was, they were booed by the fans at halftime and
Dude, your fans had enough.
bro. Before we get into the game, I've had this on my mind. So Maresca came out with the press conference after, and do you know what he blamed the draw on?
What?
The environment. He said that the environment is causing these players to not play well. Bro, you caused the environment. You're the reason why the environment is like that. You think about the managers we had, right? When we had Jose Mourinho, we backed him 100% no matter what was happening. When Antonio Conte was our manager, he built the atmosphere in the club and in the stadium to make the players get backed by the fans. Thomas Tuchel did the same thing. So we back our managers if they perform. So for him to come out and say it's the environment really fucking gave me the shits.
Well, dude, it's also, I mean, look at when Klopp took over from, if I talk from my perspective.
Yep.
He didn't have the best seasons when he first started.
Well,
right?
yeah,
he didn't have the team.
He had dog shit.
Right?
Yeah.
But he had enough things set up with the fans and was able to explain to them what they are looking to do to build the club up.
Yep.
So the fans supported his actions on the basis that there was a plan.
Yep.
I don't see what the plan is for you. You guys keep buying players, and as a fan, you like to back the players that you have. So I knew that I can always find within the Liverpool team, 4 or 5 players that I'm like, I love these guys. I want to see them grow with the team. Alexis McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, new players that they've brought in, and you want to go, I want to see more of that guy.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that in Chelsea? Cole Palmer, right? Who's died off. And to be fair, your fans haven't really turned on Cole Palmer.
No, because we know what he's capable of, and we know what he can do for us. I mean, and after what he did do for us last year, he was the only shining light in that shithouse season.
I mean, outside of that, who do you guys back?
Of the new players that we bought, the only one that I know that I can think off the top of my head is Gusto. Everybody raves about Gusto. Yeah. He's a good player. But it's not like a Szoboszlai or like a McAllister where you're like, actually another one's Caicedo. Everybody loves Caicedo.
Yeah, he's coming.
He's played really well. I know he doesn't get a lot of goals and assists, but what he does on the field,
role for it.
No, what he does on the field,
Sergio Busquets or Kante.
He does a lot of dirt. He is like a mix of Kante and Busquets. He can pass the ball, but he's also very good defensively.
Yeah.
So Cole Palmer and Caicedo would probably be my 2 tips in terms of like who are the players that we back, but. That's like a hit rate of like 10% when you think about all the players that we've bought.
We got 46 fucking players or something, and you just bought 2 more.
Yeah.
Right? right? So it's just like, but you don't have time to back any of these players. It's like they're just numbers.
Yeah,
they're just going in and out so quickly. You don't have a time to be like, oh, I'll go buy that guy's jersey.
Yeah, what it feels like to me is that it's being more run as like a business than a club.
Yeah,
which is and then he has the balls to say, "Oh, it's the environment that's the problem." Bro, fuck off. Like he's now really pissed off the fans.
Well, so he's pissed off the fans. I don't think the players are too happy either.
Well, Cole Palmer. So I got Cole Palmer on Instagram, right, and he put out a post where it was him where he scored the 4 goals against Everton, and one of the goals was where he nuttied someone, a Branthwaite, I think, or with his left foot, and you're like, and I think he put in there good times or something like that, and a lot of people are saying, oh, he's talking about how good it was playing back then under Pochettino compared to now, where it seems like he's been stifled in attack. And then I've read comments where people are like, well, you look at the way, you know how we were winning at the start of the year?
Yeah.
That was more of Pochettino's success flooding into this season. And now that Maresca Ball has come in, we've now started dropping heaps of points. So is that why we're winning at the start of the year? Because of Pochettino, or is it because Maresca Ball wasn't fully implemented yet? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I mean, just the fact that you put, all right, he won the championship. Different level, bro.
Right.
Like,
how many look at Leicester. They won the championship last year. Now they're like.
Well, to be fair, that was with Maresca.
Yeah, I know.
Maresca should have stayed. They would have come.
I wish he stayed
4th last. He just stayed in.
But look, let's get into the game. Look, Jackson hits the post in the 8th minute. Unfortunately, 10 minutes later, Nsiko scores off a header.
And I will note on Cucurella.
Yes,
that's on Cucurella, dude. He was just not marking him at all.
He was bombing up. I put it more down to the centre backs. Colwill and Tossin were not really. We're not really in it. Like they fell asleep, in my opinion.
I mean, the next goal.
I think the next goal was Cucurella.
I think it's both. I mean, look, I think both. Right? If they're attacking one side and scoring on one side, he's the player who should be there first and foremost.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, then they score a second goal. Johnson gets a goal off a header. So we go into halftime down 2-0, and they got booed mercilessly. They got booed a lot. I tried to be smart. But second half, and Cucurella scores after 18 seconds. And you're like, whoa, all right, cool, we're back in it. Sancho then gets a goal in the 79th minute. It's his first goal in 22 games.
To be fair, it was a screamer.
It was a cracker goal.
Where credit's due. It was a fucking screamer.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is another reason that you have this player here who, when he first came in, everyone was like, great, we have Sancho. You were fucking the most excited bloke to have Sancho.
I was excited that he was going to be available for 20 mil. I wouldn't pay major money for him.
Now
but 20 mil.
Going to pay him to send him back.
Yeah, apparently they're going to pay 5 mil to Man U to send him back.
Send him the fuck on.
Yeah, so, but look, this is where I think Chelsea should have won the game. Palmer, the goalkeeper, pulled off 3 amazing saves. The one on Chalobah, where it was off a corner or off a free kick. Chalobah's gone to the back post, headed it, and Palmer's just stuck out an arm, saved it. And then Cole Palmer had a chance, and Palmer saved that one. And then Enzo in the 96th minute pops up for him, he drills it, and again he just sticks out a hand and fucking saved it.
Well, look, it was his day. I mean,
he was
it wasn't a day for you guys. But again, this is why, like, okay, you probably could have won the game here.
Yeah,
but we shouldn't. You shouldn't have let Ipswich score 2 goals against you at home.
We shouldn't be in that position where we're relying on trying to win the game in the last 5 minutes. No. We should be dominating Ipswich.
100%, especially at home.
If
you went away and this happened, you could be like, all right, a bit of jitters in the first half. You let 2 goals in, you came back.
Yeah,
it's a strong effort, but you're at home.
Yeah. No, it's cool. Well, the Nick. Okay. Oh yeah, for your laptop. Yeah, sweet. Well, look, I'll skip the Livo game. We'll do that one after. We'll do the Wolves game. So it was Wolves versus Tottenham. So I picked Wolves in this, and you picked a draw in this. So I got you on that one. But Ait Nouri scored in the 2nd minute after Vicario punched the ball out straight to him. So everyone's blaming Vicario for that one. But I mean, he's punched it, but no one was there to follow up on Ait Nouri.
No, I completely agree. I mean, I hate blaming the goalkeeper.
I do as well.
When it's like that, when you're like, I mean, dude, it's not an easy job, right?
Yeah.
Be at the back, you're by yourself. You got to kind of control a big 18-yard box area. If you were to ask any other player to control that size of an area, they're not going to be able to do it well.
Correct.
And if you at some point you've got to rely on your defense to get a clear.
Yep. So, and then 3 minutes later, Larson missed an own goal. Now, this one I could have blamed on Vicario because he mispassed the ball
Yeah.
straight to a Wolves player.
Well, I mean, this is when you can, right? Because now it's the ball at his feet.
Yep.
Any player is a culprit in that situation.
Yep, exactly right. And then Spence, poor Spence, poor kid, bro, gets an own goal in the 38th minute. Vicario saves the ball and it hits him on the chest and goes in the goal. You're just like,
it's unavoidable.
what do you do, bro? You're just standing there, just happen to pop up. So look, at this stage, it's 2-0 at halftime. But then Tell, the man on loan from Bayern Munich, he scores in the 59th minute. Semedo tried to flick it out when it got crossed across goal. It's like, that's not really how you defend. But anyway, Tell scores. But then Larson scores in the 64th minute. I don't know what Romero was trying to do. He was way too casual on the ball. And Nuru just pinched his pocket and put it in for Larson.
I mean, some players in general are just lackadaisical on the ball.
Yeah, I think
it's kind of crazy. And now, obviously, the question is, and to get sacked because of this. Well, I know we're going to wait for the Europa League. But fuck, man, the writing seems to be on the wall.
Yeah. Look, I'll quickly just finish off the last goal. So Richarlison gets an 85th minute from the corner off the crossbar, which was, popped up for him. He puts it in. And then Cunha gets a goal a minute later after Bergvall loses the ball in the center of the pitch.
Bergvall should be starting in this team, right? He's a junior player. Like, he should be able to come on when they're game, not come on when it's like, we need to win this. We need to do something.
Yeah. Now, back to your point about Ange. Do you think that Tottenham have kind of given up on, obviously they've given up on anything in the league because they can't be relegated really, and they don't nowhere near Europe. Do you reckon that they've given up performing in the league and saving it all for the Europa League?
I don't know. It's hard to say, right? As a professional player, you want to win every game, wouldn't you? Like, why would you want to lose a game?
I wouldn't say lose a game, but you wouldn't be putting in all your effort is the way I see it.
Look, I mean, it's a hard one to say.
Yeah.
I'd hate to go and think that players are giving up on the
14th or 15th, yeah. It's not good.
Like, it's shocking performance.
It's not good, yeah.
It's players of that level would be disappointed in that occurred.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm more concerned what happened to Ange, realistically.
Well, what I'm concerned of is that if they do have that mentality, you can't just switch it and go from, I'm going to fucking play like average and then I'm going to switch it in the Europa League. You have to be consistent to be able to keep up those high intensity games. So if they have that mentality, then they're definitely gonna. I don't see them winning.
No.
So they really need to pick their game up tomorrow.
Well, I mean, look, it's just.
Yeah.
We'll go back next week.
Do you want to get into the Livo game?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, it wasn't a very exciting game. We'll preface it by that. We got the win.
Yep.
And I mean, didn't look comfortable in the game.
I think you guys have kind of, again, same thing. We've kind of been like, and we're going to lower the temp.
I think we're limping over the line. Right? I think we don't have the depth in the team to be able to we don't have the depth in the team to be able to have such a strong performance like we have all said. But as you saw, Salah has re-signed his contract to 2027.
Yep.
And he fucking played like it.
Hey, how good's that? You re-signed him and Van Dijk. I don't know if we spoke about this last week.
Van Dijk's not technically official yet.
Oh, isn't he?
It's only come out as a leak that he's re-signing as well.
Yeah.
And now there's obviously rumours on the back end of the game that he had.
Yep.
So opening goal comes from a fantastic shoulder roll from fucking Salah, dude.
And it was an outside the boot ball that he put in for Diaz.
He's come in, completely lost his mark, his fullback marker, comes down the pitch, puts in a cross. He had Jota and Diaz running in.
Yep.
Jota's mark. Diaz is completely by himself on the back post.
It was a great ball.
Bro, outside of the foot, puts it across him. Perfect on the foot.
On the
Diaz.
money, yeah.
Diaz just slots it away professionally.
Yep.
Great goal.
Yep.
That is fundamentally the only highlight we have.
Yes, that was pretty much it.
Fundamentally all we did in the first half.
Yep.
And we controlled the game. Cut to the second half, and again, have problems in defense. Because, and again, it's which I hate saying because I love Robbo. But again, you got a Robbo and Van Dijk mix up.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
Both of them going for the ball doesn't look like anyone clearly calls for it. It was pretty much nothing from West Ham, right? They didn't have many big chances. Kudus had a couple.
Kudus hit the crossbar, and Bowen had a 1-on-1, which was saved by Allison.
But I mean,
that was pretty much
against Allison. It's almost nothing.
Guy, bro. Has one good game against PSG. No,
I'm game. Get out of here, bro. He's the best fucking keeper in the world, bro. But bro, they have a mix up, right? Robbo goes to clear the ball. But to be fair, it's in Van Dijk's position.
Yeah,
I don't know who's not talking to someone there.
There's definitely miscommunication. From
hits Van Dijk and goes in the goal.
Yep.
Robbo's reaction is the weirdest thing
bro,
ever.
he blew up.
He lost his shit.
You know what I think it was? Because like I've written on my notes here that pretty much has summed up his season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
frustration.
So I think that's a frustration of how you guys are performing so well, but he has been zero part of it. And
he's had a good game here and there. Right, but if you're also comparing him to the games he had of his past, right? Where he was getting 12 assists a season, bombing up and down the pitch. He's just not at that level. He's made some big mistakes this year.
But
he's not consistently doing that.
I think he's not consistently doing that because he's consistently out of the team now compared to where he was last year.
No, really, Tsimikas plays a lot more than what he used to. But again, I think you're comparing it to his previous seasons.
No, I'm saying this season's bad. Now, I know, obviously, previous seasons, he's had great seasons, mad assists and everything like that. But if you look at just this season, man, he's been really bad. How many goals has he allowed in?
3 or 4.
Which is more than he's done previously. It's still
that's
a
what I'm
lot.
saying, compared to previous seasons.
Okay, but that's still a lot.
If you're comparing him to other fullbacks in the league, he's not bottom 3.
Well, no, because you look at less.
That's what I mean, right? Like, there's worse players in the league. You're just, compared to what he previously used to do, he's miles below where he was at.
It is a massive drop-off, but yeah.
I mean, look, it's clear that he will most likely go at the end. I don't see him staying around.
Or you buy another because he's left back. You buy another left back and he will be the deputy for that new left back.
And we're going to sell Tsimikas?
Yeah.
I'd rather keep Tsimikas.
And sell Robbo?
Yeah. Because I think Robbo's done his time. He could go off to Celtic or one of the other teams that's probably not as competitive. He could go to PSV. He could go to Ajax. He could go to one of those teams and be quite dominant in their league.
Yeah. But
I just think the speed at what Liverpool moves is too quick for him now.
Yeah, it's different style as well. I think obviously when Klopp was there, he did put a lot of emphasis on your wing backs. Now that Slot's there, maybe it's not as emphatic how much he wants out of him.
Dude.
Yeah,
I think he's aged. I don't think that he doesn't suit the system or anything. You could see at the start of the season he was struggling around the passing from the back.
There's a different system.
There's a different system especially when we're playing out of the back. Robbo, I think, struggles with the movement when he has to come inside and doesn't come inside. But, the narrative did get written at the end of the game. Van Dijk gets a header off a corner, scores a goal. Hasn't scored a goal off a header in a while.
Yeah.
So he gets his goal, and now everyone's saying, is he now going to re-sign his contract days out?
Yep.
And announce it with this. It hasn't yet happened.
It will.
I'm pretty certain that.
I mean, out of the 3, I thought he would be the most likely to re-sign. So getting Salah is a massive get for you guys, but I think Van Dijk was the most likely, being the captain and everything. But I don't know if you've seen the video, but there's a video out there of so behind the goal is like the disabled section.
Yeah.
So because they scored off a corner, right? So the ball goes behind for a corner.
The disabled guy throws
it kind of like the. There was a Tottenham with Jose Mourinho, but the ball boy threw it in. Yeah. It was a quick one, and then they scored. Yeah. So now everybody's blowing up that the handicap
from
section.
The handicap zone.
Next game was Newcastle Man U. Look, Newcastle is absolutely on fire. Already won a trophy this year, looking like they're going to make top 5. And they played Man U, who is diabolical to watch at the moment.
Disgusting. It's boring to watch, bro. They have all these shots, but they're nothing. They're just from nowhere, bro.
Yeah.
Like, there's no organisation, no attack.
Yeah. So, look, they did start off well. Xerxes had a shot save in the 12th minute, and I don't know if you know this, but he's actually out for the rest of the season now.
I saw that.
Yeah. But it was nice link-up play with Bruno Fernandes. So you can see they are building something, but it's way too late now for anything. But Tonali gets his goal in the 24th minute. Ishak's assist and his volley, beautiful.
Yeah.
So the whole team is just on fire at the moment. But to Man U's credit, they get a goal in the 37th minute. Garnacho scores off a counter-attack. Dallo played really well in that part. He got the ball.
One section of the game.
He got the ball. Well. He recovered. He retrieved the ball. He made the run. He put the pass off for Garnacho. So nice play by Dallo.
He should have done it more.
But then Newcastle just went ham on them. So Barnes gets a goal. Who can I say has been fucking killing it?
Dude, he's a great player.
He is a great player. But I think he was
player.
stuck behind Anthony Gordon. And I mean, you're not going to go past Jacob Murphy and Ishak. So
not at the moment, that's for sure.
And the way Anthony Gordon started the first half of the season, he was like untouchable too.
Mm-hmm.
So it was going to be hard for Harvey Barnes. But now he's had a shot and he's taken full advantage of it. And then Barnes gets his second goal in the 64th minute after Mazraoui slips. So I mean, that pretty much sums up Man U's season. And then Guimaraes, Bruno. He gets a goal in the 77th minute after the new keeper, Bayindir, who took over from Onana. He was given the week off because of his mistakes in the Europa League. Passed it.
No, he got a week off because he said that pressure was getting to him.
He said that, did he?
Yeah, that's why he netted it off because there was too much going on.
That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing to hear from your goalkeeper.
Fucking goalkeeper. It's like, the pressure's too much. It's like, keeper. The pressure's always.
Yeah, you have pretty much the hardest job on the pitch.
The fuck?
But yeah, the Bay India passed it straight to Joel Linton, and then that was Bruno's goal. So 4-1. Look, next game, Bournemouth Fulham. Now
we can jump through this one pretty fucking.
I had a draw, which you had as well, but literally it was Semenyo scored after 55 seconds.
Yeah, first minute.
And that was it.
That was it.
All I have now is Evan Nielsen hit the crossbar in the 18th minute, which he should have scored, which would have been great for my fantasy. Piece of shit. And then Muniz scuffed a shot in the 31st minute. He it's like he got hurt from it. That was it. That was the whole game. And that's pretty much where Bournemouth and Fulham have been recently. Bournemouth haven't
Fulham just
terrible
play the
run.
football that the fucking other team played.
Which we've said all year.
Oh, we scored. Let's just not want to score again. Fulham's like, all right.
All right, easy.
Yeah.
I think they're in the same position where they've kind of just gone, season's over. They can't be relegated. They can't win.
Yeah.
Another mid-table team.
I just throw. I mean, Fulham's got no creativity.
And this is the game that we missed last week, but it was Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. We both messaged each other and we both said Newcastle.
Yeah,
off the bat.
I mean, surely it was going to be Newcastle.
Yeah.
Palace,
Now,
especially after that game.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and they've made the FA Cup semi-finals, but to play City and Newcastle away in both games,
it's not fun.
That's not easy, right?
It's not fun.
Look, Murphy scored after 14 minutes from this super tight angle. Great goal.
Yeah.
Again, on fire.
It's just, I mean, he's getting kiss from God, essentially.
Yeah.
Whatever he's hitting is just it's crazy.
Then Eze gets a penalty in the 36th minute, and he tried the little stutter start
again.
Slow
I say,
run
the
up.
fuck do you do it for, dude?
Yeah, and who's the keeper? Pope.
Nick Pope.
Pope just waited and waited and waited, and
he
when
did
Eze,
do a little flinch.
he did go a little bit to the right.
Went to go the opposite side and just fucked it up.
He went like that, and he went to the right, and then he knew he was going to his left, and he dived to the left and got it. So that was nice. And then Guy, 2 minutes later, so this was the turning point in the game. 2 minutes later, Guy gets an own goal from a look. I feel sorry for him because he goes in for a slide tackle, goes in between his legs, and goes into the goal. What are you gonna do about that? But the difference between it should have been 1-1. And ends up 2-0.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just an absolute flurry. So Barnes gets a goal in the 48th minute, which was really nice. He stepped over and left foot shot, which was really nice. And then in the 53rd minute, which was technically in injury time, Jar gets a goal off a corner, or off a header, from a free kick. So 4-0 at halftime. And then the only highlight in the second half was Ishak's goal. Joel Linton tackles the centre mid, and then he passes it to Ishak, and he cracks it in. 5-0 win.
It's a striker's finish.
It was a great finish, yeah, which everybody was waiting for because nobody would have thought, it's 4-0, Ishak hasn't scored yet. Then Ishak got on the score sheet.
It happened in the previous game.
No, he didn't. Yeah.
But, I mean, still, Newcastle coming on the run in.
No, because now they're coming third at the moment. They have played an extra. No, they're now equal with everybody now. Yeah. So they're now third. I think they're 4 or 5 points ahead of sixth, which is us. So they're looking strong for Champions League next year.
Yeah, 100%.
And speaking of Champions League, do you like that?
Well, look at that segue.
Do you like that segue?
What a professional. Get him on the fucking late news. We got so we had 2 rounds, right? I think we can we'll quickly give the little highlights.
Two legs, you mean?
2 legs, 2 rounds, however you want to say it. We'll give the kind of results, I think, of the leg. We'll break down, I think, second legs, right? Because there was a few incidents. So I think first game, which was a fucking shocker, dude, was Arsenal Real Madrid. Shocking game, right? 3-0 to Arsenal.
Shocking in terms of the result, not in terms of the gameplay.
I mean, I didn't expect this from Real Madrid. You know, Arsenal ran 12 kilometers in Real Madrid.
Unreal.
That's insane. You cannot win unless you run.
Yeah.
Right? You had 2 crazy free kicks.
Declan Rice.
I encourage anyone to go watch them. You got a kid, go show him those free kicks. How you take a fucking free kick on both occasions.
The second free kick, they've got a photo of where the ball actually ended up, and it was literally a centimeter from the crossbar the post. It is literally the most perfect free kick.
It was fucking perfect. Marino gets the 3rd goal to wrap it up. And then, stupidly, Camavinga gets fucking red carded.
Dumb. So dumb.
He's their problem in the midfield, right? Like, he can clean shit up. That's why he can play at fullback or he can play in the fucking mid. Because he's so strong defensively.
Yeah.
And they just put 3 past you, and so what do? You get sent off. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, and it was for kicking the ball away, I think.
Yeah, second enough
kicking the ball away.
I get it, you're frustrated.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know that you got to come back in the next game. To do that. Then we also see their training ground, Rudiger, in between those games, putting on big tackles on Jude. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So
there's a lot like we said before, there's a lot going on with Real Madrid, I think.
Yeah. Then we had the Bayern Munich Inter Milan game. And again, you have Inter Milan as your dark horse for the tournament.
No, I did have Inter Real Madrid as the final, but yeah, I have Inter to win the whole thing. Yeah.
So I mean, look, it's an interesting game for Inter. I think they were quite dominant.
Bayern started well, and then Inter got into the game, and they dominated for a long period of time. And then Bayern, Thomas Muller, the club legend himself, who was being shafted out at the end of the season,
and told early.
Yeah.
We're not going to do nothing with you next season. Well,
but you can't do anything with this guy. He's been there for 20 plus years
and scores you the only goal of the tie.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And then you tell him that beforehand. You couldn't say after the season, look. Anyway, that's the way they're running things over there. But 88th minute, Fratesi gets the goal for Inter to win in Germany. Massive result.
Huge result.
Massive
Huge.
result.
Didn't see it coming. Could have expected it.
I thought a draw would have been good for Inter, but bro, I will give him so much credit. Simeone Inzaghi is a top manager.
Yeah.
You look at what he's done with that Inter team. I think he's been there for about 5 years now, and he's won like 3 Serie A's, he's won Coppa Italia. He got him to a Champions League final 2 years ago against Manchester City. They didn't get humbled either. They only lost 1-0 in that game to a Rodri goal. They can play. I just think that everybody thinks that, Italian football is lackluster and very defensive. But
it's not wrong. It is very defensive, right?
It is but their attack is totally different to anyone else in Italy.
Thuram up front is a beast, right? Like
Thuram and Martinez. I think it's the only team in like a top league where they've got 2 actual strikers.
Yeah.
Nobody plays with the 2 up front. They either play with like a 1 and 2 wingers or a single man up front.
It's because everyone's just running now.
Yeah.
Right? It's all about running. Like they're tactically they're very strong.
Yeah.
So look, I'm interested to see how they're going to go.
Yep.
But then we had the PSG Aston Villa game. This one, I mean, look, Aston Villa shocked everyone by scoring first. Right?
Yes.
I think everyone discounted Aston Villa. They wouldn't be able to score.
And it was a great goal they scored. McGinn took the ball, crossed it into Tillemans. Tillemans cuts it into Rodgers, and Rodgers scores. And you're going, oh, fuck, they're up 1-0 in Paris.
Yeah. And then obviously PSG turned it on and just in their attacking prowess.
So, we're talking about Declan Rice's goal. Vashkilia's goal. Wow.
Yeah, he just did it from open play.
Yeah. He gets the ball from like pretty much from the halfway line. 1-on-1 with Konza, I think it is. And
cuts him inside.
The way he cuts him inside and drills it with the left on the near post.
Yeah.
Bro,
crazy. Just rolls it with his studs.
He is class.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
And then
Doué.
Doué's goal as well.
We forgot about that one.
Yeah, Doué's goal as well was just an absolute screamer.
Yep.
Right? I think he's better than Barcola. I've said this I think a few times to you.
Yep.
This thing, I think he deserves the spot. Barcola, I think he's impactful and he can beat people on the dribble. He cuts it in on his right.
Yep.
And then have Villa go and fuck it for themselves at the end of the game. And for some reason, let fucking Nuno Mendes in to get a goal.
Yeah, because they scored in the 92nd minute. right? Paris scored the third goal in the second. Now, if you're Aston Villa and you lose 2-1 in Paris with a second leg back at Villa, you're thinking we got a real good shot here.
You're in with a chance.
But then, and which we will talk about because it ends up being, we'll get into it. But, you know, you go back 2-1, you're not that far off. You score one goal, you're back to a tie. But ends up 3-1 in Paris.
Then we had the Barcelona game, and this was
We'll call this the Barcelona
domination.
Thrashing.
Dude.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, it could have been more. I think Lamine Yamal had a few saved, put a few wide.
He did put a few wide, yeah.
Put a few wide when he cut inside.
Keeper made some good saves.
Yeah, so, I mean, this could have been easily 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Right? But the 4-0 was just a complete destruction.
And you look at the 4, right? So Yamal, Lewandowski, and Rafinha all scored or assisted in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
that just shows you how. That just shows you they're firing on all cylinders at the moment.
No one's talking about how good fucking.
No, he's like, I think you say he's 36, and he scored 40 goals this season, and the season's not over yet.
No,
he's still got like 10 games to go. He could score 50 goals in a season. For a 36-year-old, that's insane. Yeah. And not just 36 in the Spanish league.
Yeah.
I don't care you're playing for Barcelona. That's still a fucking lot of goals.
Yeah, dude, you still do a lot of running, a lot of games.
And he was injured for a good portion of the season too. So, yeah, very underrated. I think, like you said, everybody's forgotten about him.
Well, now we had the second legs.
Yeah.
And this is where shit got fucking wild.
Yes.
So we'll do it in reverse. So we had the Dortmund-Barca game, right, as the first one. Obviously down 4.
Yes.
They need to come back. And they fucking started to.
Hey, at one stage it was 2-0 to Dortmund, which means 4-2 in aggregate.
Yeah.
All they need, if they had a third goal in the next 10, 15 minutes, because I think they scored like the 50th minute.
Yeah, well, they had chances too.
And they did have chances too.
They had chances too, and they didn't convert.
Yep.
They had an offside goal from Julian Brandt as well. So, I mean, is it Jesse?
Jesse, yeah.
Jesse. Obviously, he had 3 tap-ins, gets a hat.
Well, 1 pen, 2 tap-ins, yeah.
Yep. Right, well, I counted pen.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
To be fair. It should be anyway, unless you're trying to do some tricky shit.
Yeah. Yep.
And then they kind of gave it away. They let Barca get a goal.
Own goal, unfortunately.
Yeah. What are you going to do? You always got to try to clear the ball.
Yeah, I think it was Ferran, I think it was. He crossed the ball in and it came off the defender's legs.
Yeah, he went to clear it.
It just bundled right into the goal. You're like, fuck, what are you doing?
And that was it.
Pretty much killed the tie.
Pretty much. It was like all you could see, all the wind went out of their sails, and it just wasn't going to be their day.
Yeah. Now they did get one back to make it 3-1 on the night, 5-3 on aggregate, but by that stage it was done.
Yeah. Look, tough loss for Dortmund, but again, if you lose 4-0 in the first leg, you pretty much put.
Correct. Yes.
Then we had the Villa and PSG game. Now this is
wild.
I thought the Arsenal beating Real Madrid fucking wild. Right, beating them there. Villa almost qualifying for the fucking semis, or at least drawing it up, is crazy.
Over PSG too, who are an attacking monster.
Also, they go down by 2 goals.
Yes.
Right?
So Hakimi scores after Martinez's mistake. He goes to save it, pops up right from Hakimi. He puts it away.
The centre back doesn't take control of it.
Yep.
Either does
I think
Martinez.
it was Pau Torres.
Yeah, it was. Either does Martinez. He doesn't really take control of it. Bundled save. Hakimi comes running in. And again, I will note, both goals scored for PSG by their fullbacks. Both fullbacks in a striker's position.
Yeah.
Dude, because they're both hanging almost like a number 10 position. So when they
much.
come forward, they cut inside, and then they have all that free space on the 18-yard box D, right? And comes in, slots it away, great goal. The next goal goes out to Ousmane Dembele, who takes the ball from out wide, and instead of cutting in and going for a shot, lays the ball across. Nuno Mendes takes a touch, opens up his body, and just curls it in. It's a fucking attacker's goal, dude.
And by the way, that second goal, we watched the highlights. When they're attacking, it's 4-on-2. So you got Hakimi, Mendes, Dembele, and I think it was Barcola. So you got 4-on-2 Aston Villa defenders. So you could just see that they knew what they were going to sit back and then counterattack, and they counterattacked the fuck out of that goal.
Yeah, dude, and I think that's going to be the problem when they come into this. Right, is who can realistically stop that? We managed it with fucking Allison having the greatest game ever.
Yeah.
Right? We managed it. So
Yep.
we still had questions whether or not they were fucking goal. Like,
Yep.
you know, we had got a close offside, which was lucky.
Yep.
And then we had Allison just making all the plays in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't the end of the game, right?
Nope.
Paris
Well, this was
up
only after
2-0.
about 20 minutes.
I was sitting there this morning and I'm like, well, this game's over.
Mhm.
PSG's going to smack Villa. Nuh-uh.
Mhm.
Villa fucking put in a shift, dude, and they ended up coming back. So they got a quick goal off Rogers. Opening goal. Rogers
yep.
got the opening goal at the back post.
Yep.
Puts it in fresh. Great fucking goal.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had one of the fucking goals of the Champions League from McGinn.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? Picks up the ball in midfield, starts running at the defenders, hits it with the inside of his foot to curl
Oh, it's
it.
Tillemans. Sorry,
Tillemans got the first goal. Opens up his fucking, doesn't really open up his body, opens up his boot and just curls it around fucking Donnarumma.
I think it was a slight touch, like a slight deflection, but still to be able to get that sort of power with only like turning your foot was mad. So that's 2-2 on the day. So they were still down by 2.
Yeah.
But no, we're not over yet.
No, bro. Rashford takes the ball, gets the ball out wide, right? Doesn't have anything on. Decides, oh, I'm just going to skin the fullback. I think Hakimi, was it?
No, it would have been Mendes because it was on the left.
So skins Mendes, takes it to the byline, gets the ball across, and then Konza, their centre back, is in the 18-yard box to just professionally tap it in the bottom corner. You think, dude, this game is motherfucking on.
Yeah, so it was
bro.
3-2 or 5-4 aggregate to PSG. And there was still like 20 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And Villa just pushed.
Bro, almost immediately after that, they get another opportunity on like a counter to put a ball into the box. Konza has the opportunity for a diving header, just a header in completely unmarked, edge of the 6-yard box. Emery's there going, this is fucking
This is it, yeah.
Misses the ball completely.
Oh, bro.
And then you see him drop to the ground like, what the fuck?
He actually like fell body on the ground, just like, what the fuck?
And then you see Donnarumma make 2 of the greatest saves.
Man.
One on Rashford, right? Where Rashford opens up, hits it, he jumps, gets top corner, palms it over. You're like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then he has another one off a header.
Yes.
Yeah. The header goes in. It looks like it's about to go in. He saves it off the line to get in there. Oh, freaking... What a game of like 2 halves. There were some chances for PSG in which they got in there, and obviously Martinez made some one-on-one saves.
Yep.
But I think Villa really should have got a result here.
Man, well, technically they did because they won the game.
They got the win. I mean, they should have been able to go to extra time. I think that was definitely on the cards.
If they go extra time, they've got the crowd. They got the win behind their sails. It could have been a totally different story. But
I tend to agree.
That's the difference between the top teams and the so-so team in the Champions League. I mean,
I will note. Oh, excuse me. I will note in this game they gave Dembele the fucking man of the match, which I was scratching my head about. Like, all right, he got an assist. He wasn't really that dominant in the game. He didn't want to accept man of the match trophy. He wouldn't take it.
Which is
and when
fair.
they got a photo with him holding it, he has no emotion on his face.
He is so upset that he's even
he
there.
He didn't deserve it. If you're going to give it to anyone from PSG, Donnarumma.
Donnarumma, yeah. Well, actually, on my app, they actually gave John McGinn the man of the match, which I think would have been fair.
Which is fair. I mean, he had a dominant game.
Yeah.
If they look, one, I disagree with them pulling off Rashford and McGinn. Right, they were the 2 subs that Aston Villa made. I disagree with that. I think they should have stayed on. I think it would have been different. But again, you know, Unai knows more than me.
Yeah, you'd think so, right?
Well, then we'll jump to the Inter Bayern Munich game.
Yes. So look, I watched this game. Bayern opened the scoring. Harry Kane gets his goal. He skins the mark. No, was it? No, sorry, it wasn't Kane. He got the second goal.
It was DeMarco, where he got him to open his legs.
Yeah, that did happen, but I don't think Kane. No, Kane did score the first goal. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So
he got him. He
opens
wasn't
up,
close enough.
Yeah, he wasn't close enough. He opens up, and DeMarco tries to block it, but he leaves a massive gap, and he gets nutted, and Kane
DeMarco
scores.
left him way too much space.
Yeah,
there was no close down. He needed to get way closer to him to be able to actually challenge the ball.
Yeah, so that made the tie 2-2 on the tie. So Bayern's back, but then 6 minutes later, Martinez scores off a corner. And then 3 minutes later, Pavard scores. So
yeah, the ex-Bayern player.
Ex-Bayern player, yeah. So I think they're both off 2 corners too.
Yeah.
So that puts Inter up 4-2. But then Dyer who I totally forgot played for fucking Bayern Munich,
Yeah.
scores a ridiculous header
From the back post.
So
Behind the
ball,
back post.
the ball gets crossed, goes way past the goal. And it's like he goes to header it back into the middle, which is fine. But it goes over Somar and in the goal. You're like, oh, fuck, what the fuck was that? But then Inter did what Inter do. They shut up shop. They didn't give Bayern many chances. They gave him a couple half chances. Kane had one. I think Muller might have had one. And then, so Inter go through to the semis, which I said would happen. I think it was a little bit more closer than I thought it was going to be, but Inter go through to the semis. And Inter versus Barcelona is going to be very, very interesting. I'm still going to stick with Inter, because I said it from the start, but this is going to be a fucking hard game.
And then we had the final game of the kind of quarterfinals. Real Madrid, Arsenal talk. Real Madrid come in and the comeback was on.
They closed the roof to keep the noise in the Bernabeu because they were like, oh, that's the atmosphere that they wanted to bring. And after 9 minutes, it looked like it didn't really matter because I think it was Garcia gave away a penalty off a corner. Saka gets the pen, but does this weird little Panenka dink thing. And
it was a shit pen.
It was a shit pen. And Courtois...
little nothing. It was a shit penalty, bro.
Yeah. And Courtois flicks it away and you're like, fuck. Now we saved the pen. They need to come back. This is the inspiration that they need to come back. But they had a penalty shout, but that got turned over. But after that, there was absolutely nothing. There was nothing in the whole game from both teams.
It just died. Arsenal just killed the game off.
Yep.
Right? They allowed no attacks from Real Madrid. They didn't really push too hard for anything themselves. Yeah. And then until, what was it, in the 60th minute
64th, yeah.
64th minute.
64th minute.
Saka gets the ball through. Great ball by Marino, by the way, and a great run.
Yep.
Right? He saw that the right back was
it Marino or Odegaard?
I thought it was Marino.
It was one of the midfielders. I'll find it. But yeah, please continue.
So yeah, plays the ball through. Saka takes advantage of the right back being out of position.
Way back.
Cuts inside, gets the ball, and just dinks it straight over.
You're right. It was Marino.
Yeah. I'm always right.
And then look, Vinny Jr. scores 5 minutes later.
That was Saliba's fault, realistically. Yeah. You can tell him he wasn't switched on. They're up
4-0 with like 30 minutes or like 25 minutes to go.
Not even, I don't think. Yeah,
it was easy. Yeah, so.
Vinny Jr. comes in, gets a goal. I mean, when you call for Ballon d'Or now, you
So that ends 2-1 Arsenal. So now it's going to be Arsenal versus PSG.
Well, that's what we got. So we got Arsenal, PSG, Barcelona, Inter. I'm thinking, look, I mean, if I'm picking out of the two, going PSG over Arsenal, because another note, Thomas Partey will miss the opening game.
Huge. Because look, the good thing is that they are playing the first game at home, so he might not be needed as much, but still a massive piece that they're going to be missing out of that team.
Sure. And then the second game, we've got Barcelona-Inter.
This tie is why I'm interested, because Barca going first, if they dominate like the way they did against Dortmund, I don't see Inter being able to come back at the San Siro.
If Inter have to open up and play an attacking game, it's going to be difficult.
But if Inter can keep it tight, and say they lose by 1 or even draw, bro, it is on.
Yeah, no,
it is on because they're going to go back to Italy, and bro,
it's a hard game to choose. I think on this one, I think we'll split it. I'd say Barca, you'd say Inter.
I'd say Inter, yeah.
So, I mean, look, interesting games ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to write. Look, I know it's going to be the PSG game. It's going to be very. I think PSG will go through as well. But after seeing the way they performed, especially Declan Rice, the way he performed against Real Madrid, I'm not writing Arsenal. I'm not writing Arsenal.
Whether they can replicate it.
Correct. Yes.
Whether they can replicate it, and it's whether or not they can absorb that pressure.
And with both teams, PSG have won the French league, so they can rest up whoever they want. Arsenal have pretty much conceded the league, so they're going to rest their players too.
Well, they've got a double header, right? They're going to play a double header this.
They do have a double header. They play on Saturday, or they play on Sunday morning, and then they play Thursday morning, I think. So they're going to have a nice little break. But for the Champions League.
Yeah, well, they'll have a week off. They need, right?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we jump into our tips for match day 33?
33, yes. So first game.
We've got Brentford-Brighton.
I've gone draw.
I've gone Brentford.
I'm not. Yeah, I like that one. I just think that Brentford and Brighton are both in positions where they can't really go up or down. So I think they're just going to. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, I just think Brentford's in better form.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Purely that.
Yep.
Then we've got West Ham, Southampton, West Ham.
West Ham.
Yeah, let's just be quick.
Nothing else said.
Yeah. Then we've got Everton and City. This one's interesting.
I've gone draw.
That's it. I had draw.
Yeah.
And then I went City coming off the 5-2.
City-
Kevin De Bruyne back in the team.
Yeah.
I've gone City.
Look, City is the more likely one, but Everton is such a dog of a team where I can see them
Strong
playing
balls,
like a bunch of cunts and they're just going to annoy City.
Yeah.
Plus, it'd be great for Chelsea because if we can win our game and they draw, we'll start moving back up into the top 5. But
Well, there's a lot of ifs in that.
tell me
A lot
about
of
it.
ifs.
But yeah, I've gone draw.
Then we've got Palace and Bournemouth.
Look, I've gone Palace. I know Bournemouth won, but they still didn't look good. And
No,
Palace
yeah,
played
just-
two
I
really
think there's
hard
only
games.
A couple of players in their team playing well for Bournemouth,
Mm.
whereas Palace, I don't look. Palace lost both the game, but they're hard fucking games.
They were. I mean, you play City away, Newcastle away. They're 3rd and 5th.
Yeah, so I've gone Palace
Yep.
as well. And then we've got Villa and Newcastle.
This one, I umdenard. I umdenard so hard, but I'm going to go with Newcastle.
Oh, look, I didn't even and ah. I just went straight Newcastle.
You just went straight Newcastle, huh?
I think Villa losing
PSG.
the PSG. You saw what happened to us. It's
Mhm.
a hard fucking game against PSG.
You know what I just worked out as well? PSG have played 3 English teams.
Mm.
They played Liverpool, Villa, now you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
then
no,
Arsenal.
Yeah,
Then
no,
Arsenal.
don't
No,
put
sorry.
me in that group. Yeah, unclean. We're gonna end this because I
Yeah.
gotta go shower.
To go Liverpool, Villa, then Arsenal. Fuck, 3 English teams in a row. Good for them.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, I've gone Newcastle.
I got Newcastle. I think they're just higher in the league. They've had less games to play in the run up to this.
Mm.
Uh,
I mean, they did play today against Palace, but it was you compare the Palace game to the PSG game, the intensity was night and day.
Yeah, bro, the amount that they had to run with the Villa I'm talking about in today's game in the Champions League is crazy. And look, interesting to see how I've gone Newcastle.
Yep.
Then we've got Ipswich and Arsenal.
Look, I've gone Arsenal. I think Ipswich know that they're out. Look, I probably should have gone draw. I think draw would be a good one for that because Arsenal aren't going to play their players. Ipswich.
You'd assume not.
I'd
You would
assume, yes, I'd
not.
assume.
You never know
Yeah.
with Arteta.
Yeah.
But I imagine where he starts
Mm.
over fucking Saka. Maybe Saka has 20.
He
Vice
shouldn't be
versa.
playing at all, to be fair. Just came back from
Realistic-
injury, but
yeah.
who knows with Arteta?
You don't. So yeah. So I've gone Arsenal.
Yep, same.
Then we've got Man U and Wolves.
I've gone Wolves.
I've gone Wolves too.
Man U are playing tomorrow. Wolves are on fire. They've won 4 games in a row.
Yeah, and scoring.
And scoring, yeah. And I just can't see Man U stopping them.
Then we've got Fulham and Chelsea.
Well, I've gone Chelsea. I'm not, again, like I said this last week as well, there was going to be a draw against, not the Ipswich game, sorry, the Brentford game. I said it was going to be a draw, and it was. And I've got the same feeling about this one, where we're going to draw.
I've gone draw.
Yeah, but I just can't tip draw. So I'm going to go Chelsea.
Yeah, so I've gone draw. For that same reason, I think it's a shit game.
Yep.
And I think they're both going to trade shit fucking chances.
Yep.
Then there's Leicester and Liverpool.
Liverpool.
I've gone Liverpool.
They just want to kill this league
Yeah,
off.
like I get it. Leicester scored last week.
Right, it's scored 2 goals in 900 minutes.
Yeah. it's-
Like, come on.
Then we've got Tottenham and Forest. Fucking hard one to pick. Both teams aren't.
I've gone draw.
I went Forest.
I don't like Forest away. I think a 0-0 draw or a 1-1 draw would be my tip. I
think
know
with-
Spurs
with
have their big game.
Tottenham playing tomorrow.
Yep.
I just think they're going to throw all their energy into that.
Yeah,
If they get a result, that'll be their focus.
Yep.
If they don't get a result, they're hit.
and they
Because they've
won't
got
care.
nothing else to play for.
And Andrew gets
Whereas
sacked.
Forest
Well,
have got top 4 to play
This is the
for.
way I see it, right? If they win, their tails will be up in the air and they might give it a bit of a shake, right? If they lose, they'll get a new manager in and they've always got the new manager curse, right?
I don't think he'll be sacked immediately. I think they'll wait to the end of the season.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
That's my feeling with it.
Yeah.
But until tomorrow, we won't.
We won't know exactly. So
Then we've
I'm going to
got-
go with draw.
Villa and City.
I've gone draw.
It's a hard one.
It's a very good game. Very
It's-
good game.
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
I've gone Villa.
Dude, no qualms about it whatsoever.
I just think the 2 games from both teams, I think Villa can handle them better than.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And then the last game of the round with the additionals is Arsenal versus Palace.
I've gone, look, again, Arsenal. Again, because I don't know what sort of team he's going to put out. Palace playing another hard away game. We saw what happened. They got pumped twice. But again, Arsenal by this stage will definitely be resting players. So Draw is probably a good tip, but I'm just going to go with Arsenal.
I went draw.
Yeah, fair
I've
enough.
gone draw.
Yeah, so there's a few different ones there. Probably end up with the same number again.
Yes, exactly right. Just limp over.
Oh, actually, as we speak, Van Dijk has just signed a new contract at Liverpool.
Oh, there you go.
Breaking news, everyone.
Hang on a second. What did I just say? It was all set up
Yeah.
in the game, so Van Dijk could score that winner. Then several days later, they'll do it. I'm a goddamn fucking savant, baby.
I wonder if that handicap person was there, the one that gave me the
Hands in
assist.
the contract. It's just been fully set up. It's a BlackRock, baby. Oh, fuck. But yeah, look, I think there's a lot of stuff for us to cover next week.
Do you want to do fantasy?
Oh, yeah, we can.
So you put yours up. I'll just talk about mine. So look, I got 76 this week, which I was very happy with. My big scorers, so obviously Liverpool, Newcastle and Palace had double games. So I had one Palace player, which is Munoz. Mm-hmm. He got -1 in 2 games. I mean, he conceded 10 goals in 2 games, so that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But in my Newcastle players, I had Livramento, who got a clean sheet against Palace.
Mm-hmm.
I had Jacob Murphy, who scored 19 points on fire, goals and assists in both games. And then I captained Ishak, who got me 22. He only scored in the Palace game. But my other big scorers, I had Mamush, who scored, and I had Kirkes, who got me 6. So in total, I got 76.
Yeah, those are some good points. I'll pull mine up. Great, we got 86 points.
Nice.
I mean, look, majorly because I had Eddie Howe
down
as manager.
You worked your Newcastle. You worked your manager.
I fucking
on point.
said, dude. Yep. I knew when I was paying him. Finally, I made one right decision this fucking year. However, it does come with a fuck up because I went to put Ishak as captain and I forgot to fucking save it. So
that's like the 3rd time you've done that,
dude.
This year.
I know, man, because I quickly go to do it, and then like I'm at work or something, and then I just forget.
You get distracted,
to hit save, bro. So Sells and goals 3. Finally made a choice with the right keeper. It's 1 point difference.
No, 1 point difference.
Yeah.
I know. Same with me. I had Henderson, who had 2 or 1, and I got Sells. Like, woo, extra 2 points.
Take that point, baby. So look, I think if I had Ishak as captain and managed to put fucking Wissa on my goddamn team instead of Mateta that got 2, you know, I would have been looking at getting close to 100 points this week.
-6 puts you on 80, but you add 11, that's 91. You would have got 100 exact. Oh no, but you would have taken someone out. Yeah. So you would have got close to 100. Yeah. Hey, you take the 86. I mean, 100%. The Eddie Howe move, great move.
Yeah, listen, and obviously they've got a few games coming up.
Yep.
Difficult games as well. Mm-hmm. But against Villa, they've just played, yada, yada. So I'm hoping they can get the win there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a nice 10-point win or 13 that I got out of fucking Eddie Howe. But it's some points all the same.
Yeah.
Look, what I'm going to do this week, I'm not quite sure yet. I know there's a couple of subs in. I might sacrifice 4 points, but I think we'll post it up.
Yeah, and I'm going to actually use my my free hit this week.
Yeah,
got a lot of double games. So City have a double game, Villa have a double game, Palace have a double game, and Arsenal have a double game. So I'm going to try to work in some of those players and try to get some double points with my free hit.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, well, until next week, we're going to have some good shit to talk about.
You were leaving on a good note with VVD with the contract.
It just made me happy,
Get that
baby.
fucking smile off your face.
Yeah. Oh, peace out. Salt, brother. See ya.
Peace.